Yeah, I mean Hunter. I don't think there's any surprise at this point that Face Hunter is probably one of the better decks
Wow,
out there.
so
Game.
wait, what? Sophsy deckhand and Hunter? Did I see that?
Yeah. Lave Zuka, Eagle Horn Bows, ladies and gents. Pump up the value. Also, he can do what he wants because the pirate is free. So
what do we do here? Hunted Creeper?
Yeah, I don't dislike it, but Knife Juggler is probably a bit better for pressure.
Well, it kinda sucks that the backstab and it will be top decked right now. Nope. Almost. 0 mana to 7, that's almost the same.
Oh, well, a sap this early. Ouch.
If you see the sap instead of a backstab, you just replay it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, backstab.
Second bow. The bow is the most important card against the rogue. It basically says deal at least 6 points of damage.
It's
and that's
guaranteed
insane.
damage output. Yeah.
Farseer will not heal any points of damage. That's gonna be hurtful. Now you got the bow to trade for the Farseer.
This is a perfect outcome here for RDU. Gets the trade, the juggler sticks around, the Belcher is not even ready to come down. Orange
Unless
is gonna
there
have
will
to
be
find
an
answer.
agent or backstab. Oh, agent. Okay, so you now prep into agent, right?
It's still horrible.
Yeah,
but
it's awful because then you trade it into the second durability point of the bow, and you still leave.
Oh, he's just gonna fetch a backstab. Never mind. I can't really blame him. I think that's a great idea, in fact, because you're spending way too many resources on one SI.
What about not getting the backstab here?
Well, I mean, it sucks, but you could get Fan of Knives with Blood Mage next turn. I think it's a payoff you have to try to take. Oh my goodness, RDU! Look at that cancer. Well, I think I just metastasized.
Well, there's one little problem for RDU. There's a Belcher.
Right. But there's probably a Hoot Hoot. Actually, if a Belcher falls down... sorry about that. If a Belcher falls down, he can deal with it with his current board, right?
Yeah, he can deal with it, but, you know, he kinda trades his both 1/1s. What about Talnos and Agent instead of Belcher?
That's not a bad idea. It's
I think it sucks anyway.
Both plays suck. I mean, if you're facing Face Hunter as a rogue, none of the plays you make are gonna feel good until you get an anti-heal bot. So, I mean, you pick your poison effectively.
Not deadly poison.
No, not that. Well, I mean, you could. It would have been great against that juggler, mind you. Now that we talk about the deadly
Prep
Sap Belcher. That's not
Prep Sap Belcher. Yeah, that's not bad.
Prep Sap SI. Into Blood Mage.
Prep Sap SI.
Actually, Prep Sap Belcher. Yeah, Prep Sap SI Agent. That's not terrible. What else are you gonna sap? A Wolf Rider? I don't think so. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
You play it now, you get a Belcher next turn, and you get the trade first.
Nah, you want to keep the prep. Yeah. You have to keep the prep for the Belcher turn. At least.
No, if you play it now, I mean, if he replays the Leper Gnome, you can trade your Blood Mage into it. So you're probably happy to use it now and then get a good Belcher on the following turn. I like Orange's line of play, but he's really on the defensive here. RDU finds a bit more damage, which he's just going to throw on the board.
Hero power. Do you kill the agent? Or just deal 3 points of damage to the face? It might
I like
backfire.
trading the agent, but if you go full phase,
now it will backfire really badly for RDU.
Will it? He's got bow plus Southsea plus the abusive. How much does it backfire?
Well, if you top deck a kill command, it doesn't. Kill command bow.
Does it even backfire now? I don't think it does. I mean, it kind of does, but not really.
You have to play bow, attack into Belcher with Southsea,
then buff up the
abusive sergeant. Yeah,
I think you're good.
You lose 2 points of damage though.
Leroy Leroy, you don't have Unleashed, so I don't think you get that done.
You have to keep that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Well, let's see if Orange plays more healing. That's what I'm curious about. How much of those Earthlings and anti-heal bots have made their way into Orange's list? That's kind of what I want to know at this point.
You know what's funny? One Belcher might win the game.
One more, right? Or I think
no, even this
Belcher,
one. Even this one can win the game.
because it's 7 damage tanked.
Yeah. Like, Leroy next turn would have been almost basically guaranteed lethal because you wouldn't be mana inefficient with your plays now.
Yeah. Oh man, if a Fan of Knives comes out, but
Sharp Sword, that's not bad. That's definitely not the worst draw you could have gotten because you want to raise Hunter at some point of the game.
And RDU is playing into Blade Flurry so hard, but I guess at this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you have to go all in. Well, that's basically what Space Hunter does, right? All in.
Yeah, never fold.
So you kill... What?
Kill everything.
You use the Eviscerate? Nah, I don't think so, right?
If it's right on the 2-1, sounds like value. I mean, everything has 1 health anyway, so... you're still just gonna kill all the 1-1s.
How many points of damage do you have next turn? 4, 7, 8, and then 11, 14, 18 points of damage.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Damage detected.
So you
I'm in pain
use Hero Power, Arcane Golem, and Pirate, right?
Yeah.
Because then next turn you can fit Leroy with Unleash the Hounds, or Leroy with Kill Command, or Leroy with...
Wait, what if you just trade your Southsea into the 3-1?
Do you need to set up for lethal next turn, right? With
Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
With counting, with counting Farseers, or whatever.
Yeah. 1 Farseer, then that's gonna be lethal. If you keep
Use
like,
it, use it, dude. Use the Arcane Golem. You will have to use the next card you will draw, so you won't have enough mana for not using the Arcane Golem right now. Okay. And that's not stopping RDU. So I'm looking for answers, and I don't see one.
I sense a soul in search of answers. I don't know.
Yeah, load up is the only one thing you can do is load up, and that's basically lose the game.
Yeah, that's essentially in this position. It's lose the game because it doesn't do anything. I mean,
you might be worried about Kill Command, and if you manage to clear the whole board, then you buy yourself a turn. Because Kill Command is for 8 points of mana, but that doesn't really matter because you can't clear the board. There's 1 creature left behind. Or 2 if you kill the beast. So
yep. I mean, you're still dead to Unleash no matter what, so
yeah.
What are you gonna play around here?
Doggies are all over you. Oh, well, look. Kill Command.
That's gonna do it. Does he? Oh no, RDU is tilting orange. Oh goodness. Well, hopefully orange doesn't feel too tilted by that top deck, but he might be because he was pretty close to lethal. If you look at Tinkers and Eviscerate, he wasn't that far away. If he got 1 more turn, he might have been able to do it. So that's going to be game number 1 for RDU, which is going to mean he's going to move on to either his Paladin or his Rogue. Orange still has the entire lineup available.
RDU will switch now to Rogue to battle the Rogue from Orange, I think.
Yeah, do you know if Life Coach and RDU have been talking about the Paladin list that they're using? I don't know if they're communicating at all.
Yeah, they're communicating a lot.
Okay.
But to be honest, Life Coach and RDU have really different play styles. So you don't see many, how do you say that? You don't see the same points in both lists of those players.
Okay. So they're trying different stuff out, generally speaking. They won't necessarily tech the same stuff.
Like, you even see that in Druid. An example, RDU is not using Nourish, right?
Where Life Coach is always using them systematically. I don't know. Like it's probably the only player that I've seen that sticks to that card all the time in Druid.
And sometimes it's really insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really bad. Well, RDU will play Rogue, okay, and Orange will play Hunter. So...
That seems like if Orange is bringing Face Hunter, we might just see a complete... Like an exact parallel to what we just witnessed, right? Where the Face Hunter wins the game. So if this is a Face Hunter, and RDU is playing a Rogue that's very similar to that of Orange, then we're going to see a reverse Hunter win over a Rogue. We'll have to see, though, what's going to happen there.
It depends so much on those, like, few cards, few tweaks from the Rogue. If you play double Belcher, the backstab also. But if you play double Belchers, if you play, in example, one Farseer, one Healbot, those minor tweaks.
Yeah, a lot more healing or damage mitigation. The thing is, I feel like if Orange had backstab last game instead of having to sap the Night Juggler, the game would have been different. I mean, if you can deal with Juggler on turn 4 with a prep sprint and a backstab, it's... I mean, let's be honest here, it's got to feel very, very weird.
Well, he didn't get any point of damage from the Knife Juggler anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
He got 3, I think, total.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
Then he would...
He coined it out,
still die.
2 got
he would still die, but yeah, you're right.
It's like it's one of those little things. If you can get a backstab with SI on the board on curve and not have to waste your entire first 4 turns on nothing, but removing the juggler, things get a little easier. So we're gonna be jumping into the game. A Rogue versus Hunter, probably going to be Face Hunter since we've seen so much of it. Prepare your SM Orcs, guys.
Oh,
Control C, Control V.
Double sprint and opening hand.
Oh, he can run really fast.
Oh yeah. Double sprint is gallop.
Wow. Actually, I think it's sprint, prep, sprint. I remember doing that in World of Warcraft. Preparation, reset your cooldowns, so you could just sprint forever.
Okay. Makes sense. 2 points of damage from the Abusive Sergeant. Value. Well, that's a good drop for next turn.
Well, I feel like RDU's hand, although it looked clunky at first, it's improved already. He's got the Flurry to deal with the 1 health minions and the remaining tokens from the Creeper, and he's got a Farseer to get something down on the board.
Still not looking good for RDU.
So I don't know. I like the Farseer play. I mean, when he finds a prep, this entire game gets turned around.
You mean
the
Coin, Violet
Blade is going to be insane.
Well,
I think it's all about that prep. Really? I feel like his position is not as bad as we're making it out to be. He's got 2 Violet Teachers. He's got himself a good sap. You might get the first Violet out right now if you wanted. Then you can get a good Blade Flurry next turn. Pop the Spider, then Flurry everything.
That is not bad. But it will meet a kill command, I think.
You forgot an S.
Well, okay, maybe not, because you just draw Unleash the Hound. Unleash the Hounds, sorry. So you don't worry about those 1/1s at all. They even help you.
Dear Diary, my name is Orange. Today I went face.
And Redagger.
Yep, I think that makes a lot of sense. Pretty standard line of play, but look at this board now. The Rogue is actually in a favorable board position. Of course it's not. But...
That's so weird.
Is it that bad though?
Well, Unleash the Hound's hero power for damage to the face.
Right.
Or just
I think you just keep the Unleash for Leroy later. I mean, I don't think you're using Unleash right now.
What? Turn 8? So you just drop Mad Scientist hero power?
Yeah. And then you get Explosive Trap, that's 2 more damage, and then you ramp up slowly to that turn 8.
Well, if you use...
well, I'm wrong, obviously. I was wrong.
11 points of health. Okay, so you want to kill the Whelps, because you don't want to get more value for the Unleash the Hounds. And how much damage do you deal each turn?
There's 8 damage right now he can play with Unleash Kill Command. On its own, that's 8. So he's almost, actually, yeah, he's almost at the lethal with the Arcane Golem. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him push.
What about Unleash the Hound's kill command now? That's
Yeah, that's what he has to do.
yeah.
To set up the lethal for the next turn's Arcane Golem. I think so.
No, he goes for the Arcane Golem now.
6 damage. That's not too bad.
But it gets 7 points of... No, he goes for
I like KC a bit better, honestly. I think kill command is a bit better.
Interesting tactic.
Skill
Interesting tactic.
Yeah, it's very it's not like I don't see that very often, right?
So now you have to play Farseer, Backstab, Eviscerate Phase.
You have to eviscerate your Shredder and try for a Savage. You try for the
You
Savage.
have to push for damage. You have to win next turn.
But
So you deal 8 points of damage right this turn, right?
What if he does find the taunt off of the Shredder? Because he gets a ton of 1/1s out of those spells.
Wait, what are we talking about? He's at 6 points of life.
He's dead, I know. That's what I'm saying. He has to pull off a Savage. That is the only way he wins this game. Oh, man. Is he gonna try? He doesn't. If he would have killed the Hound if he did. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Come on, pull off a Savage. No, he's not pulling it off. Well, this is a story how Valeera's life got flipped, turned upside down.
Iron Big Owl? No way!
Yeah, sick top deck.
Arcane Golem, kill him. Finish him!
Well, that's a reverse Hunter versus Rogue play, so both players have won with their Hunters, so that's out of the way. They're both equalizing, which means RDU is left with Paladin and Rogue versus Orange's Druid and Rogue, so...
Yep. It's very funny that when you think about it, RDU had his starting hand his starting hand was basically 2 cards.
Yeah. I mean, you had 2 sprints, which were effectively dead until you find a prep or late game, and against Face Hunter, it's essentially dead for the longest time. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mirror match, because if you're playing Paladin and you run into Rogue, you're going to be in a bit of a troublesome situation. Then again, if you queue up into the Druid, you're going to be good, so it's going to depend on what they think the other player is going to play. RDU is going to play Paladin. Okay, so my idea of going Rogue is not exactly what he wants to do.
Now I'm now thinking, will Orange go? No, we went with Druid. Okay.
So both players making the call.
Sick read.
Yeah, both players kind of... yeah, RDU's read was actually top-notch, but Orange's as well, because his opponent didn't go Rogue. I just feel like both players would have gotten punished by Rogue if they pick this and the opponent goes Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue is generally pretty good against Druid and against Pally, but we'll have to see what RD is bringing. Maybe Life Coach gave him some hyper defensive triple anti-kill bot, double lay on hands, double Farseer deck.
That would be Resident Sleeper.
Yeah, that would be what Life Coach plays, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly in line with what I
We'll know in a few seconds. We'll be starting with the game. Okay. So, when you think about Paladin against Druid matchup, what you want to get is those Peacekeepers out.
Aldor Peacekeepers, I think, as fast as possible.
Well, Crucible Champion is also something you want to get.
Yeah. Well,
and Innervate with coin.
Doctor 4 at the very least. And I mean, it could be a Doctor 2. It could be a Doctor 2, but let's be honest.
You have to use the Massive Battle turn 3, right?
It's not
Passion of Lore.
Alright.
That's a Dr. Draw.
What I like about the line of play he's taking by not Innervate coining out a 5-drop is that it allows him to get a good turn 3 5-drop and a turn 4 5-drop. So that's a bit more consistent in general.
Oh, second Massive Battle. That doesn't help at all.
Well, I
don't know what I'm excited.
You play the second one on turn 4, and then you play the Quartermaster, and then Druid leaves the game. Yeah, that's how you do it. Did you hear? Innervate Belcher. So True Silver Champion is going to be very helpful here for RDU.
That's very true.
Get a bit of value out of that.
Tyrion, that's also a crucial draw against Druid.
Yeah, needed for the late game. Usually you can contest the mid game fairly effectively, but getting to the late game, you want to put pressure with that.
Next turn is Dr. 7 at Dr. 4.
No, there's no Innervate. Innervate has been used already.
Oh yeah, right, what I'm talking about, never mind.
Yeah, if you'd kept those two for Dr. 4, I think you get punished too severely by a lot of the lineups. Oh wow, that is a great draw here for Orange, getting himself a Shredder. I think that's better than playing the Jewel of the Claw with the coin, because you can coin out your Dr. Soonish if you want to.
Dr.
You're curving
Soonish?
out pretty well. No, you can coin out your Dr. comma Soonish. No, Dr. Soonish. Alright, so he goes for the coin Jewel of the Claw play. Feeding some value into a pot. Oh man, what if there were a Quartermaster here? Look at the value. That would have been disgusting. It's not too late yet.
What about... Turn 6 is looking bleak.
For Orange? Or
For RDU. For RDU.
Yeah.
But you got both presents, so it's okay.
I think it's bleak, but you can at least play the heal bot for a body. Oh, wow! He finds the Quartermaster. The thing is, do you keep it for turn 8? I think you have to.
Yeah, I think you do.
But look at that swipe from Orange.
But it's okay. This swipe was still okay for you, because then you know that he lost a whole turn not developing anything.
Yeah, but then he plays Dr. Boom.
Well...
And then you wish you'd never taken a step on this earth.
I think RDU might have to use the Quartermaster with hero power. That sucks.
I'm afraid you're right, though. I think you might just heal bot for a body with a 1-1, so you can go for Muster, Quartermaster next turn and get much more value out of it. I mean,
and
Dr.
then you
Boom
lose
sucks.
to Savage Roar.
Right, but you always lose to Savage Roar anyway.
Like, if they win, and then... I can't say that, I can't say that. Oh man, now you can't play Masterful Battle with Quartermaster. You can't.
Dear Diary, today I went face. So here's the thing.
Tyrion? You dropped Tyrion?
Do you really have a choice? You're playing into Keeper, but honestly, at this point, your options are so limited. If you had an Aldor Peacekeeper, this would be a different story, but you just don't have one.
Well, what about the...
Muster for Battle Quartermaster?
Yeah, I think it's still the best. It's still the best.
Yeah. You still have Lay on Hands, you still have Tyrion, and now you're not playing into the...
And how... Wait. Let's think.
He could go face and win, theoretically.
But he will lose if he does that.
In this case,
he will get... There's a Druid of the Claw, so that's 6 points of damage. Then you have 9, 12, 19, 21, 23 points of damage.
I'm a little surprised that he took
5
the
points.
boom bot 5 to the face instead of taking the boom bot, but...
And now Orange has to charge.
Yeah, that's GG.
Yeah, that's everything you have to do.
That's all you have to do. Well, that's exact lethal.
I was surprised. He could have been...
He could have not
safe.
died if he didn't hit the Lothar with his face, but that's going to be a really punishing decision that he made at the very end there, and he's probably going to be hating himself for it. Probably forgot to calculate there just a little bit, because that was really risky of a play to take 5 at this point with a 7 attack minion looking you down with 2 boombots next to one another. But we'll see what he's going to do next. I just know that RDU is going to be able to reuse his Paladin if he feels like it, and Orange is down to 1 deck. He's got only his Rogue, which is going to make a little bit of a problem for RDU.
Yeah, definitely. Now he has to switch the Rogue, so it will be a mirror match. And then he has to kill the Rogue with Paladin, which is not an easy task.
Definitely not, especially if they get that a good Blade Flurry here. I mean, RDU could go for the mirror match if he feels like he's got a bit of an edge here, at least as far as top deck scale goes, but I mean, Paladin is not horrible, it's just not optimal at all. You're so far I guess if you get the good shielded mini bots and they whiff on backstabs and everything, it can be done, but it's a bit tricky.
Well,
it's a bit safer.
I don't like either. And now,
don't you like coin flips?
Yeah, I don't like those for sure. Who likes those? Should have stick to playing coin.
Amaz likes coin flips. At least he used to. Just took them and run with drag systematically. But honestly,
well,
doesn't seem.
Orange plays Belcher in his rogue, right? That also puts his rogue into an advantage over RDU. Because
does it? I mean, a sap is very easy.
Yeah, it
almost feels like it can be a drawback at times. It's better
remember
though it gets
the
flurry,
old times?
Yeah.
Remember the old times of the Miracle Rogue when they were playing Sengens?
Yep, I remember that.
And that's the same reasoning behind the Belcher, right?
Same mechanic.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, it makes quite a bit of sense. Especially if one of them is playing Shredders and the sludge gets even better at that point. Obviously.
Yeah, Belcher is only slightly weaker than Sengen, because it's 1 mana point you lose more to sap, and well, maybe the curve is way worse when you have to sap on a 5 mana.
On a 5 mana, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes your curve can get thrown off by that, but that's nothing a prep can't solve in general. Which is, I mean, the biggest turns in Rogue come when the prep is top decked at the right time and they get that one key, the turning point in the mid game where they get one spell off with a prep and suddenly the game just becomes so much easier for them.
True.
So let's go. Battle of the preps, and hopefully RDU doesn't get double sprint in his opening hand this time.
Well, if top decks say it's, prep this time, that's okay. I think you want to have a sprint in your opening hand against the rogue, especially if you're going second.
Yeah, Orange is getting the coin though, so that gives him a bit of an edge in this matchup. You want the coin for a combo start.
He has the prep with sprint.
Yeah, and the Loatheb to deny RDU any chance of unlocking the board after it's been taken over.
That is looking grim for RDU.
We'll have to see, but they're both running Belchers, it seems. I see a Belcher in RDU's rogue.
And will he attack? That basically says, I have no free drop. Okay, so he's not attacking. Next turn, you want to prep, coin Valid Teacher, backstab the agent, kill it with your dagger, but RDU plays just Fan of Knives.
Yeah, once the card cycle, but should be punished. Oh, goodness.
So, what about...
coin Violet and pass, I think.
Yeah.
And then you get an amazing play next turn. Whatever you do, you're getting an amazing play. Pretty much.
True. It's looking grim for RDU. Very grim.
He's still got a good deadly SI here, let's be honest. His ability to contest the board is far from gone. He's got the ability to keep the pressure on. He's on 4, he's going to get a Belcher next turn. He's got an SI, a second SI on the back end. So honestly, I feel like as bad as RDU's position is in the long term because he doesn't have a sprint, as soon as he does find one, that might equalize everything.
So you have to prep sprint now. And then you play Azure Drake backstab next turn.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to kill that SI7 agent.
And you have your Farseer to heal for those 3 points of damage you lost to the agent that one turn.
Oh man, the options in Orange's hand are just infinite. So many minions, but very few spells. There's one Blade Flurry and a backstab. He's got limited spells to manage with. Which
is very good for RDU because he has the Blade Flurry.
Well, I just said there are no spells, but he picked up a deadly. It's going to be pretty meaningful. Very meaningful. Gets a really good Van Cleef here. 6/6 Van Cleef.
So how do you deal with that? You backstab it for 2 points. And
you backstab Eviscerate SI, I guess, on the Blood Mage.
Yeah, most likely.
Thing is, he's got to be afraid of Blade Flurry, right? I mean, I can't see...
Well, the Belcher is still okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do like this line of play from RDU. I think it's even better than the Eviscerate, because you can keep Eviscerate for face in a very convincing way.
You have the second Blade Flurry, and you have 3 top decks that can fuel that Blade Flurry. 4 actually, because you have Thanos too.
You know what? The position that Orange was in was very strong initially, but it feels like it's weakening a little bit. He can't play both minions and remove everything.
Well, he wants to play Palted Shredder this turn.
You know, he's gonna play the Farseer, but the thing is, he doesn't get to develop the biggest threats that he's got in his deck.
RDU will replay the Belcher and Redagger, most likely. Maybe he will use the Eviscerate on the Farseer. Advin.
Oh.
Okay. So
does that change anything?
No. Next turn, Farseer, Advin... Farseer, Eviscerate, Advin.
Yeah. Again, still weak to sap.
But he saw one sap. Oh, never mind.
Well, there might be another here. Loatheb and sap are going to put a dent in RDU's ability to counterplay here. That second sap and Loatheb together.
So now he has to play Belcher and Farseer.
Yeah. Belcher and Edwin, or Belcher and Farseer. I like the Edwin because it lives with Blade Flurry, but...
He has to play... Yeah. He has to play the Blade Flurry next turn. So what he needs to draw is a Deadly Poison or what else? Wait, 4, 6, 9 points of mana.
Even
so Fan of Knives,
nice,
Fan of Knives is also really great because then you kill the Loatheb without, even if you won't have any point of damage.
So I think Azure Drake, trading to Belcher and Fan of Knives here is going to be Orange's general line of play. Or, you know, you just attack into the Belcher, then Blade Flurry everything.
I think you attack into Belcher and Blade Flurry everything.
Yeah. That's a much safer play in general. Well, let's see what he decides to do. I feel like these come down very often to who gets the board, obviously. That's the way Rogue wins nowadays. Yeah, I still like Blade Flurry a lot. And now it's a bit easier for RDU to Blade Flurry everything, but he still needs to find the deadly. He can he can Blade Flurry everything with Tinkers on.
He doesn't need he doesn't need the Deadly Poison.
He can even fit. Gets
wait. Backstep first. Yeah.
Would you? Why? I think a 6/6 Edwin is good enough.
Well, you saw 2 saps, so basically, you basically set up lethal next turn, and now you don't have lethal. Because, you know, you have an 8/8 on board, and he has 13 points of health, and use both Farseer. So you got him on 5, and you top deck a card, whatever it is, you got combo for the Eviscerate, and then you attack for 1 point of damage with Dagger and Eviscerate. And you kill him.
Yeah, and he wouldn't really be able to deal with this.
Yeah, there's no way.
I guess Belcher would have been the only way to stop you, but that's pretty unlikely.
You can top deck a sap.
Yep.
Because you have 2 left in your deck.
Oh man, Orange needs to find a prep here. Or some kind of Eviscerate play, and he finds the Eviscerate. He's got to feel very relieved here because he had no way to deal with that 6/6 Edwin. But even if it had been an 8/8 here,
even with an 8, it wouldn't matter. But still, he would have need the perfect draw, which wasn't that, to deal with that Van Cleef 8/8.
Print top deck, boys. Nope, that's not it. Then again, that's a bit more damage in RDU's favor.
Well, you got 6/10, so you can just go face.
And hope for what?
And hope for next turn win.
How? With what?
With a...
I think you can't leave the Drake alive, honestly. It feels... I mean, it feels awful, but you want to get your sprint, you want to get your second Vow Teacher, I guess. Oh, God.
Would it have been lethal? 4, 6,
that is... 6. It wouldn't have been lethal, but it would have been very close. And that's the thing, RDU can't afford... Like, Drakes are a huge threat. It doesn't look like much, but...
Oh, look. Sprint.
Yeah, that's what RDU needs right now. Like never before. He's already played 2 Blade Flurries, so he's got Fan of Knives left for card draw, but... that's a good top deck. If he's not dead... He might... There's 7 on board, plus another 6, 7...
He's dead.
14, he's dead to Blade Flurry and everything else, so... It was a fun. I think you.
Wait, you attack face. You attack face.
Oh
no.
man! What if you wait for it and it killed everything?
Yeah, and then you kill it with bombs for 7 points of damage.
Yeah, you might get a draw. What if there was a draw there? Well, that's gonna be game. Orange is gonna be taking this one. He can't possibly miss that lethal. That's gonna be 3-1 in favor of Orange here in the series.
Yep.
RDU's down.
Look at the bombs.
1-4.
Will we see the bombs?
If they hit for 7 on the face, I'm gonna cry.
Nah, they didn't.
It didn't happen. So Orange gets the 3-1 lead, well, win